Hello everyone, and in this episode we're going to be taking a look at the text options. So the text options, we can bring it down by simply selecting the text tool from the top toolbar or the T on our keyboard shortcut. So we can simply select anywhere, and this by default lets us type in anything. So we can type in anything, and by default this will be in an auto spacing system. So the bounding box of the text is simply automatically defined by Figma. So how much we type or where we place our enters and spaces. So that's where these options set up. So on the right hand side you can see that we have our different text tools. So here are different text options. So first we can select our typeface from the top drop down menu over here. We can simply select any one and we can scroll through all of them, or we can simply left click and type in whatever we want, and then we can change the typeface. So we'll undo that, and under that we have our weight option. So this selects what will be the weight and styling of our text. So we can have thin, extra light, medium, and we can have italic or bold, and that's that. And next to that we have our type size. So this basically dictates how big or small the typeface will be. So we can select from the drop down menu, or we can simply left click and put in any value that we want. So let's undo that. And next to that we have our line height. So the line height dictates how much space the individual letters are going to take as height. So if I simply left click over here, so you can see that we have 170%. So by default this will be 150%. So we can change it to any height. So if I simply increase it to 200 and bump it up, you can see that there's more spacing in between my lines. And next to that we have our letter spacing. So the letter spacing is basically the spacing in between individual letters. So if I simply left click on this, and if we simply currently it's at 0%, so let's put in 30%. So you can see that there's a lot much more spacing in between individual letters right now. So these two values, the line height and the letter spacing, these are by default in percentages, but if we wanted in pixels we can also have that. So we simply put in any value, so let's say 12 pixels, and we simply put in px at the end of it, and if I simply enter now, so there are 12 pixels in between them. So let's undo that. Now next to that we have the paragraph spacing. So let's move on to this paragraph. So you can see that there are three paragraphs over here, and this is the paragraph spacing, so the space in between paragraphs. So currently it's set to 20 pixels, so let's bump it up and let's put in 30. So you can see now there's more spacing in between my different paragraphs. And next to that we have our resizing option. So the resizing option lets the text box or this text input field change the shape and size of it. So right now it's set to fixed. So this is the fixed size. So I have the bounding box fixed by default. So by default it will be set to this. So this is auto height. So we'll undo that. So when we have auto hide, the text, as I've already demonstrated, it's going to depend on how much we type in, and Figma is going to automatically shape the text box. And next to that we have our auto height. So this simply keeps the uh, width to a fixed setting that we set. So if I simply select the text tool, if I drag like this and select it like this, so currently now this is set to fixed. Now if I simply change this back to auto height, so now you can see that the width has been fixed, but the height changes as I keep on typing. So we'll get rid of that. And next let's select the text. Next we have our indentation, our alignment. So we can set the text alignment. So if I simply click over here, so let's select the text. So you can see this is center aligned, so all of the text is aligned to the center of the text box. If I left align this, so all the text is aligned to the left, and if I select this one and if I click on right align, so you can see that these texts are aligned to the right hand side of my bounding box. So this is our left align, this is our center align, and this is our left align. And next to that we have our vertical options or alignment options. So first we have the align top. So you can see now my text has been moved to the top and is aligned to the top portion. And then we have this center alignment. So now you can see that there's spacing at the top and at the bottom, equal spacing. And then we have the bottom align. So now you can see all of the spaces at the top and the text is being aligned to the bottom of the box. Now next to all of these basic options, we have some more advanced option here. So my colleague AB Abir is going to explain them to you.
Hi again. Fime explained all the text options and type settings very well, but I have to just add one more thing. Type settings and options can vary font to font. As you can see, in the Montserrat font, you will see a certain number of cases. But if you select something else, like ShareTech Mono, it will reduce. And just like that, in the details section, if you select Montserrat, you will get details feature like lettercase, numbers, letter forming, styling, and there are even more listed feature. But if you select something like this, a share mono text font, as you can see, the features reduced. So just like that, these features can vary font to font from less to even more. So I hope this will not confuse you when you're working with your own font. So happy learning, and I'll see you in the next lesson.